Hello people of the internet, this is KaijuNoir, and welcome to another episode of Kaiju's Corner, your one-stop shop for all your kaiju and comic book and all sorts of pop culture related freeform conversations. So, as always, I am of course, your host, and here with me is the one and only Deadpoolzilla.
Greetings everyone of all preferences and whatnot. I couldn't think of anything clever to say.
Right. I don't know what is it with us and being unable to speak at the top of off the top of our heads. So anyways, it has been a while since our last episode of Kaiju's Corner. I kind of took a break from the show in order to focus on getting back into scripted reviews, but we're back here with another topic and to spend the next, half hour or so discussing whatever it is we like to talk about. So this was a topic that Deadpoolzilla came to me with, and apparently he knows a lot more about this than I do. So take it away, DPZ.
Today we're going to talk about how Disney's like the Borg.
Where they just like to absorb everything and have everything under one large corporate umbrella.
Yeah. But here's the thing, unlike the Borg where everything turns out horrible and vicious, Disney actually knows what it's doing when it absorbs other companies or takes rights to something.
I guess so, yeah. It's kind of like the friendly corporate takeover. It's kind of like, imagine Lex Luthor, but with Mickey Mouse ears. He's wearing a Mickey Mouse hat.
Well, since it's Marvel, you could say Norman Osborn.
I guess so, true, yeah. So anyways, what is this rumored business ongoings that you came across recently, and how did you came across this in the first place?
Well, I'll tell you. First off, there's been a lot of talk among the internet, but nothing official yet, but apparently Disney and Toei are getting very buddy-buddy, and the last time Disney did that with with Lucasfilms, guess what they got? So there's been a lot of stuff up in the air. It's nothing official, and this applies to a few other groups they've talked about, but there's been a lot of talk, again, nothing official, of Toei possibly getting bought out by Disney.
Now, has Disney ever bought out a foreign company before? By foreign, I mean a company that's outside of America?
Yeah, they took Studio Ghibli.
Oh, okay. Was this like a recent thing, like last year after like Studio Ghibli kind of abandoned their animation division?
No, this was like they were still Miyazaki was still making films under Disney's money.
So was this all the way back in like 2001 with like Spirited Away?
No, this was it's been going on for I want to say about 4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay.
I think Tales of Earthsea was their first one together.
Uh-huh. I see. Well, I guess it does explain why they've always had such a strong relationship for like the last 10 years or so. I guess this kind of parallels what happened between Disney and Pixar.
Yeah. And now there's a lot of stuff going on between Disney and Toei because Toei is allowing syndication rights for a few of their animes that are coming out under Disney.
Right, like one of their biggest franchises is this anime franchise about a blue cat called Doraemon. And I remember one time, I think it was a year or two ago, I saw Doraemon on the Disney Channel, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm clearly not a fan of Doraemon, but being a fan of, Japanese media, I eventually came across that character, and to see that Japanese character suddenly show up English dubbed on the Disney Channel, it's like so surreal to me, because again, Doraemon's like a character I have never seen before in America.
Here's how I kind of look at it. Is it batshit crazy? It's Toei.
I guess so, true, yeah. Toei's definitely been like this big legendary animation company as well as tokusatsu company. I know they're the people behind Dragon Ball Z, and in terms of tokusatsu, they're the guys behind Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Supaidaman, basically all like the great shows made by legendary tokusatsu creator Shotaro Ishinomori.
Weren't they also behind Mazinger Z?
Mazinger Z,
someone else.
let's see, I'm gonna check right now. I have a feeling that maybe maybe Toei's the animation company that worked with Go Nagai in terms of making anime adaptations of all of his popular material, such as Devilman and Mazinger Z. And so I guess I'll... go ahead.
Because I know, if I remember right, if I remember right, Toei had a hand in a lot of the Gotcha Man stuff, so I just kind of assumed they also had a hand in Mazinger.
And that you are absolutely right. Toei is the company behind the Mazinger franchise, be it Mazinger Z, Great Mazinger, Grandizer, Mazin Kaiser, and all that good stuff. So yeah, Toei is basically one of the...
Oh yeah, we also forgot Ultraman's under them.
Nope. Oh, actually, technically, the Ultraman anime, which is called either The Ultraman, or sometimes referred to as Ultraman Jonius. Subaraya, on the other hand, they're in charge of the live-action Ultraman stuff, which is generally all of it.
See, this is the weird thing with Japanese rights. I can't remember. It's always hard to pin down who owns what in Japanese media.
Well, I don't know. I mean, generally there are just these large corporations, be it like Bandai or Sunrise or Subaraya, Toho, that just had like each of them are like Disney, where they just get their hands over as many things as they can. And I guess the real complicated issue is trying to get Japanese properties over in America, because that requires American distribution companies, and that's where it gets really tricky, especially when you try to get like crossover media, like Japanese crossover video games or comics or animes, and trying to bring it to America. That's where things get really sticky, because each character or each fictional property has its own like legal American company for distribution.
Yeah. So, Andreas, I gotta ask you, if Toei gets bought out by Disney, how would you feel about it?
Well, let's see here. I honestly don't know what to think. I mean, it's Disney's a big American company. They definitely have a large influence over a large portion of worldwide media. I mean, heck, anime, what we consider to be the generic anime art style, pretty much was inspired by early Disney animation. So how they would be able to take control over all these numerous upon numerous properties would be this big daunting task for Disney. And how I can only assume that they won't, like Marvel, they won't try to influence it in any major way, but I assume they would want to market a lot of their popular stuff over here in America, and that's what makes me happy, to just see them finally bring over all that media from all those fictional properties, like, you know, again, Ultraman, Super Sentai, Devilman, Mazinger Z, all that stuff, and bring it over here.
Like,
Kamen Rider.
Dude, the one thing I'm pushing for, if this goes through, I want Kamen Rider here in America, because Disney doesn't own the rights to... So Disney and Saban broke up. It's them and Nickelodeon now.
Right,
so
right, and...
Sure,
but then... Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, because now, you know, with Power Rangers, Dino Charge is actually pretty cool, so I'm not going to lie. I would imagine that Disney wants to have that kind of same show, so I'd imagine they would try to either get another Sentai or bring Kamen Rider here.
And it's interesting that you brought up Saban, because Saban and Disney had a really rocky relationship during their entire partnership, from Wild Force all the way to RPM, where Disney wanted to go the cheap route and simply make an English dub of whatever Super Sentai was coming out of Japan, coming out of Toei. And of course Saban was like, we don't actually do that. We actually go out of our way to make an English version of that show, an American version of that show. So I can see them, Disney, with no one to tell them what to do, since they would, in this case, possibly own Toei. They can simply just dub at all those Kamen Rider shows, be it Kamen Rider Forze, Kamen Rider Wizard, Kamen Rider Game, Kamen Rider Drive, all those latest shows, and just simply dub them and bring them over here in America, since that's kind of what they wanted to do with Super Sentai back when they owned Saban.
I feel like Disney would put a little more effort into it. Just something tells me, like, Disney now would put a little more effort into it. And, you know, like you said, I know a lot of people be like, oh my god, they're going to ruin Toei. Have you seen what they're doing with Marvel and Star Wars?
Or in this case, what they're not doing to Star Wars and Marvel? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
With Marvel, they allowed Marvel Studios to do their own thing. Is Lucas... Are they just letting Lucasfilm just handle Star Wars on their own?
No, they have a lot more... let me back up. With Marvel, they're letting them do their own thing. They just get to do distribution rights, as well as... The worst that comes out of it is, like, Marvel can now put stuff in their gift shops.
Uh-huh.
And they can do promotions for the TV shows and movies and whatnot. Star Wars is a little different, because Disney actually... They own everything with Star Wars, so they know what they're doing. They have a major say in what's behind the movies, and as well as all of the stuff. It's not like with Marvel. It's a lot more different with Star Wars.
Uh-huh. And I just had a sudden thought where if they're able to see, because they added Marvel and recently they announced Star Wars for Disney Infinity, imagine what would happen if they brought in the Toei stuff for Disney Infinity. That would be crazy.
I would love to get Mazinger Z as an Xfinity kit.
Yeah. I mean, I love the art style that they use for that game, so to see that be applied to, like, Mazinger Z or Kamen Rider, that would be amazing. Although it would be really interesting to see a Disney figure in a Disney game based off of a character like Devilman.
Oh, you know what would be also awesome? If they brought back the old Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. I think I mentioned this to you on Facebook. It's like now, if they own Toei, there would be no reason not to have Spider-Man in America on DVD or whatnot.
Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun to see that actually happen and get a DVD release of it. Because now with Marvel and with possibly Toei going under them, but it's a lot of back and forth and it's a lot of hearsay, so nothing's really official. I want this to be true because I think Disney can do something really good with Toei, and I think those two would have a really good relationship between the two.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would be really interesting is what would become of Dragon Ball Z, because right now Nickelodeon currently has the rights to air Dragon Ball Z on their channel, or in this case Dragon Ball Z Kai and GT.
Yeah. Well, then again, Cartoon Network also can have Kai as well. And I think Toei just did the animation. They didn't have any. I think the only one that Toei had the rights to was GT. And I don't want GT. That's the one thing we could do without, people. It's not even canon anymore, according to Battle of Gods.
I guess in this case, because Dragon Ball Super is coming out real soon, I guess if the buyout does occur, I guess Disney can easily snatch up Dragon Ball Super and play it on the Disney Channel, just like how they're currently doing Naruto Shippuden.
Well, they used to do that until they gave it back to Cartoon Network.
Right, which now airs Naruto Shippuden uncut.
Yeah. The Dragon Ball Super, I think they can get away with a lot more stuff, and I think it will probably be on Disney XD. If they're going to put it anywhere, if they're going to put Dragon Ball Super anywhere else. I think another major thing, because I also know Doraemon isn't the only thing Toei and Disney are doing together. Right now, they're coming out with a show called Miscellaneous Ladybug.
Mm-hmm.
From what I gather, it's like think Sailor Moon, but with bugs.
Uh-huh. Now, I remember Stan Lee took part in a giant robot anime. I completely forgot what it was called, but I'm wondering if that was made by Toei, because in that case, then with both Stan Lee and Toei, I guess there's no reason why you can't have that show that anime come over to America. So let's see. I'm just gonna take a little while to check out what this anime was. And what's really funny is that the robot in the show itself is clearly American, where like the robot itself has red, white, and blue. The show takes place, I believe, in San Francisco. Stan Lee himself makes cameo appearances.
Excelsior! I just kind of imagine that.
Hero Man, that's the name of the show. Let's see, just trying to see what exactly is The animation, come on, and nope, not Toei. So forget everything I just said in the last 2 minutes.
But yeah, I think if this does happen, I would be more than okay with it. Because then, you've opened so many doors with Toei. I mean, again, they've already done well with Studio Ghibli, Marvel, I was about to say DC, oh my god. They've done so well with Star Wars so far. Marvel. Toei, I think, would be another great step. And there's also, because a lot of people are wondering, because now, I don't know if you know this, Andreas, but now Disney's doing, they're playing Doctor Who here on their channel.
Yeah, I remember I did hear that announcement where they were going to start off with the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, which is weird because they just said we can only do tenancies, and I was like, really? You kind of need Eccleston series to get a hold on everything else.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll just rely on people to just go to their local Walmart and pick up the first season of Doctor Who that's easily available on DVD.
You have too much faith in people.
It's widely available. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Again, some people are kind of wondering, does this mean Doctor Who's going to go under Disney? And I'm kind of, at first I was like, if it does happen, cool. If it doesn't, yeah. But again...
I mean, it is BBC. It's BBC. I doubt they would want to let go of that property.
Yeah, that's... Unless they get joint, unless Disney and BBC get joint, what's the word I'm looking for?
Joint custody?
No, there's an official business...
Joint partnership?
That's the closest I can think of. There we go. They can both own the rights.
So now, I remember you mentioned that you have a lot more faith in Disney to do more than just dub whatever new Super Sentai or Kamen Rider show or whatever live-action show Toei produces, in bringing them out to America. You think they can do more than that? What would you like to see them do with their live-action franchises?
I'd like to see them do so. I would like to see them stay true to what they were, like Kamen Rider and their Sentais, but I don't want to see just dub.
So you want to see like another Dragon Knight? Kamen Rider Dragon Knight?
We don't talk about Dragon Knight.
Oh, fuck you, man. Dragon Knight was awesome.
I'm kidding. I actually... did you know? I don't think I've told you this. I actually owned, like, a bunch of their figures. I even had both the dragons as toys I got for Christmas when I was, like, 10.
You think you're better than me, don't you?
I don't feel bad. My dog chewed him up.
Aw. And meanwhile, I just had, like, 3 Masked Rider figures as a child that I recently gave up. Well. Let's see. Now, would they be willing... I'm sure they would be willing to stream any of these shows if they ever get, like, the international rights to them. And who knows, maybe we'll finally be able to get whatever merchandise starts coming out, like, whenever there's, like, a new video game based off of, like, one of their popular brands or one of their, action figures and whatnot. I guess all that Japanese merchandising we'll start to see some of that, whatever it is.
Yeah, or hell, what we could see is, and I'm shooting for the stars here. Hell, we could actually see a Disney animated show with anime into it, like a
Toonami for the Disney Channel.
Yeah, I would like that.
That would be interesting.
Because with Star Wars and Marvel, you can clearly tell that that Disney because they don't censor. They're not trying to censor the Marvel or Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't censor Studio Ghibli either. So we can clearly see that Disney wants to get an older audience, and I think that would be a smart way to go.
Mm-hmm. And let's see here. I'm looking at several of their popular brands, and I realized that they have Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya, many of you may remember it on Toonami as being Knights of the Zodiac.
Oh, that was so cool.
And last year, there was a CGI animated Saint Seiya movie. And so, because of that, Toei recently started making or producing either like live CGI animated adaptations based off of their famous properties. Like I mentioned, Saint Seiya. Last year or 2 years ago, they made a CGI Captain Harlock, space pirate Captain Harlock movie.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. And who knows, maybe we'll start to see those movies come out here. Maybe they'll make more movies now with an international audience in mind. They own the Sailor Moon franchise. Go ahead.
I was about to say, or even animated series based in those universes.
Right, and let's see, they made a, what was it? Yeah, they created the Sailor Moon franchise, and while I forgot, what is the company that recently put out the Sailor Moon series on DVD and Blu-ray?
I can't remember. I want to say Madhouse. I want to say Studio Madhouse, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, maybe by then maybe they'll take over that and perhaps release that Sailor Moon Crystal remake and bring it over to America.
Yeah, I know they want to do. I know there's Japanese companies who wanted to do that. I think Funimation might have a grab for it, but nothing's official yet.
Oh, right, yeah.
And who knows, maybe Disney will be like, hey, Funimation, you're ours.
Oh, let's see now. Now, what else have they made? I mean, oh yeah, I know there's an entire library of Japanese shows that they have. Oh, I forgot the other one. Not only is there Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, but there's also the Metal Hero series. Now, people may remember two specific Metal Heroes being given the Power Rangers American treatment. One of them being, what was it, VR Troopers. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other being Big Bad Beetleborgs. Big Bad Beetleborgs was based off a show called Metal Hero B-Fighter, and I forgot what show VR Troopers was based off of. But anyways, that's an entire. Even though they don't make anymore, I believe they've long since canceled the Metal Hero series. I do know that is kind of like their third big tokusatsu franchise, so that's another thing they can get their hands on.
Yeah. Does Toei also have Astro Boy? No, not Astro Boy. No, that is what I'm thinking of.
Astro Boy, I'll check right now. Let's see here. Wasn't it Paramount that released the 2009 movie?
Yeah, but they haven't done shit with it yet since.
Yeah.
I think that's all they did with it.
Let's see. No, that was Mushi Productions that worked on. Well, let's see. That was the original anime. Then there was still Mushi Productions, Tezuka Productions. So let's see. Sony and Tezuka. Okay, so it looks like it's not a Toei property, because I guess it was made during before Toei ever became a thing, so it sort of grew into it got its own company.
Yeah.
Kind of like Tsuburaya if we had Tezuka.
Yeah. You see, like I said, there's such a menagerie of stuff they could run with if given the money, and Disney has deep pockets.
Uh-huh.
So again, if this does happen, I think I'm getting you to come around on the idea, Andreas.
Well, I never disliked the idea of them too. I just don't believe it'll happen because we haven't had. You came to me saying, "Oh, there's a rumor that this is going to happen." I'm like, "Where did you hear this?" I heard it, but where? And you're like, and I was like, "Hey, man, I need something more concrete." So until then, all of this is just simply speculation. I mean, do I want it to happen? Sure, absolutely. I mean, I'm not those people. I embrace Disney. I love Disney. I'm not going to be one of those people who are like, Disney's the devil. It just takes over everything with their greedy corporate claws. I'm like, whatever. They tend to allow good things to happen out of their partnerships. I mean, if that means I get to enjoy Kamen Rider or Supaida Man or Mazinger Z well, technically I already have Mazinger Z on DVD, but anyways, if I get to have more of the stuff I like from Japan, and without having to import it or spend God knows how much money on it at conventions, then hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and hell, we could even get it digitally remastered.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, definitely. And who knows? Maybe, like I said before, we may probably will see stuff like that we'll see original content that will be a result from a joint Disney Toei production in the future.
And going back real quick, because this just crossed my mind of why I think Disney's trying to go for an older audience. Did you hear about this? Disney wants to make a movie based around one of the Fantasia sequences.
Yes, we talked about it very briefly on SOS, where we talked about the adaptation of Chernobog, which led into a miraculously led into a conversation about Nicolas Cage, and how that conversation ended up with us wanting Nicolas Cage to play the motion capture for Chernobog. Scraping at the door.
I need to go back and watch. I need to go back and watch them. But yeah, I think if Disney's going to do something like that, and I think they're willing to go for an older audience, and like you said, a Toonami version of Disney, sign me up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for years, until the Marvel partnership, for years, Disney was trying to search for a boy brand that they can use as like the equivalent for their girl-centric Disney princess lineup. And, you know, of course, Tron didn't work, and I think several of the Power Rangers didn't really work out, and they tried something else, but I guess that also didn't pan out, and eventually they were like, hey, let's just buy shit. Instead of making our own proper boy-centric properties, let's just buy stuff. And so that's how we got Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, and I think they also played a smart move too, because I think they knew that not only did they knew that boys would like them, I think they knew there were girls out, girls and boys who would like both licenses.
Yeah, definitely true. I can only imagine how much money they'd be getting off of girls getting Sailor Moon merchandise. Although I wonder if today people still remember. I mean, I know people who grew up in the 90s remember Sailor Moon, but I wonder if like a new generation of little girls would be just as willing to embrace Sailor Moon.
Hence why we have Sailor Moon Crystal, Andreas.
Yes, but that's only streaming in anime websites.
Would it be crazy if we had like Usagi, Sailor Moon as one of the Disney princesses? That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, well, so far we haven't seen Princess Leia be among the Disney princesses as far as I'm concerned, so I doubt it, but that would be kind of weird to see her as like this emissary of Japan.
But it makes it like she kind of fits, like when you think about it, that character fits all the criteria for a Disney princess and more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I was, like, if that happens, I'll be like, you are really pushing this, Toei. Good on you. You are.
Well, I guess in the end, only time will tell if anything will come out of these rumors.
Yeah. It just seemed like, I know some people said, like, oh, does this mean Doctor Who's going to get bought out by Disney? The more I thought about it, the more I looked into it, I was like, that's going to happen. But with this, and all the work Toei and Disney are doing in the now and the future, it kind of makes you think, because, Marvel, Disney and Star Wars do a lot of stuff together, and then, surprise, the predictable happened.
All right. So let's see, anything else there is to talk about before we wrap things up?
Well, for final thoughts, I know some people are going to freak out and think, oh, Disney's going to, censor it and whatnot, and to an extent, there may be some minor censoring. I mean, not all of Toei stuff is all family-friendly, but they do, I think out of most animation companies, they do the most family-friendly in terms of their shows. I think you'd agree with me, Andreas.
I guess so, sure. I mean, they pretty much do have, I'm pretty sure that they would have something for everyone. I mean, right now I just realized that because Toei is responsible for all of Go Nagai's creation adaptations, I just realized that means Disney would also have the ownership to the Cutie Honey franchise. Oh dear God, is that not family friendly?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, for those of you who have no idea what Cutie Honey is, imagine Sailor Moon with more violence and nudity.
Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome.
Hey, just put it on the
old Google searches and have fun. Woohoo!
Yeah. Or hell, you can put it on this idea where I'm looking. Why can't you think of a Disney version? Why can't we not on there?
So, yeah, so let's see, okay, so you had your final thoughts, right?
Yeah, more or less. I'm very open to the idea, and I think it's nothing but really good than a really good
business venture.
I think it would be a really good partnership for both sides.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, I don't think I can say anything else that can top that other than I definitely agree with you. So I believe we have come to the end of another session of Kaiju's Corner. Thank you for joining me, Deadpoolzilla. Thank you, the audience, for listening to us ramble about and geek out over, certain prospects. And until next time, everybody, I've been KaijuNoir.
I'm Deadpoolzilla.
And until next time, everybody, take care.